Global Director for Women on the Front Lines, and I'm here to take you into just a moment to think deeply about some things from the scriptures. And we've been looking at Matthew chapter 5, which is the Sermon on the Mount, which I call the sermon. If you just took this one message by Jesus and you attempted to live it out, your life would be so radically different from everyone around you that it would make a huge impact. And so we're going through this one verse at a time and just thinking about it and the way we can apply it as women, as we're living in a world where most people are following what everyone else is doing. So let's look at Matthew chapter 5, verse 5. And it simply says this: "Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth." And you know, that word for meek is really the word we get gentleness from. And I believe that the best definition I've ever heard of meekness is this: strength under control. If you think of a really strong person who's, playing with little children, they don't play at full strength. They take that strength and they bring it under control. And meekness is the ability really to take the bigness of who you are and your strength and your powerful personality and bring it under and into application to a situation where it needs to be gentle and it needs to be calm. And in the world we're living in, gentleness and meekness seems to have gone out the window. We're in a social media world where people think that being insistent, getting their way, arguing, yelling, if you can do that on social media, typing in capitals, and even crossing the line to swear at people. I'm actually really shocked this year to see how much people have lost their filter. They've lost their filter. I made a somewhat innocent comment on a post about a few weeks back, and instantly it sort of took off. It wasn't even a bold statement. It was just, I said, I agree with doing things a certain way, and I don't agree with, violence and different things to solve problems. And it blew up, and 600 people commented on this. And some of the comments said, yeah, that's true. We need to find other ways to solve problems. But not only did people disagree, but the names I was called within 10 minutes were utterly shocking. So it says here, "Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth." And so what I think is such a beautiful promise about what Jesus was saying is, we know Jesus could have called 10,000 angels. He could have, used his powers to get his way, but he actually humbled himself and he came to serve. And the thing about meekness is that it comes best from a place within you where you know who you are. And you're not threatened by people disagreeing with you. You can take a position and be calm about that. And you can just be gentle. And the Bible tells us actually further on in that we need to, as leaders, instruct people with an attitude of gentleness, correct them gently. Isn't that interesting? So there's something about gentleness that actually brings peace to a situation. And then the promise here is they will inherit the earth. There is actually an open door of inheritance. There's an open door for opportunity, influence, and the supernatural in your life when you operate God's ways. And so there's this invitation through meekness to inherit the earth, to actually walk in the place of dominion, to be in a place with such security in God that you actually are able to be and move and take authority over things that you need to without having to lower yourself to those places of argument and being aggressive and trying to get your way through being bossy, etc. So I think that's a beautiful promise for us. I don't know if you've experienced the lack of meekness in the world. If you have, tell me in the comments about that. And, I was very surprised, like I said, with an innocent comment on social media and how it blew up. And what it shows me is that people are now afraid to even get involved in speaking things, in saying anything. And I believe in telling the truth. And I do believe in, being honest about what you believe. And I think if we come in meekness, that's our best shot at actually being heard. And for those who want to respond with a lack of meekness, we can bless them. And then we can delete the comments, right? That's how the world works now. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. So my challenge this week, I'm a very intense, outgoing, strong personality. I'm a leader. My goal this week is to be aware of meekness. Where can I put my strength under control? There's a wonderful proverb that says, "A gentle answer can break a bone." Isn't that interesting? So I was listening actually to the book of Job today, and he was talking about him, how he was this person who everyone listened to. And he said, "And I would speak my words, and people would get really quiet, and then what I said would drop on them. I loved that description. And so that's really meekness, right? It's strength under control. It's using your words powerfully. And I have a friend who taught me this saying, let your words be diamonds, not pennies. Again, meekness, strength under control, using everything wisely. Have a wonderful day, and thanks for joining me to take just a moment together.